Certified, pre-owned. Dealer inspected. Multi-point checklist complete. You hear those words and you think someone actually looked at this thing. You think a trained technician crawled through the bilge, tested the electrical, tapped the transom with a hammer, and checked behind every access panel. You think you're paying extra for peace of mind. I bought 5 certified pre-owned boats from 5 different dealers over the past 6 months. Center consoles and bay boats from Sea Hunt, NauticStar, Key West, Robalo, and Tidewater, all in the $20,000 to $60,000 range. Every single one came with a certification sticker and a checklist full of green check marks. Then I cut them open. What I found under the Gelcoat should be illegal. And by the time we get to boat number 5, you're going to understand why I'm never trusting another dealer certification again. Let's start with what certified pre-owned actually means in the marine industry. And here's where it gets ugly. The FTC Used Car Rule that requires buyer's guides and warranty disclosures for used cars, it explicitly excludes boats. There's no federal regulation, no minimum inspection requirements, no third-party oversight. When a dealer slaps a certified sticker on a hull, they're using their own internal checklist that they created, they administer, and they grade themselves on. Only 2 manufacturers in the entire industry run real certified pre-owned programs with actual standards: Hinckley and Contender. That's it. Boston Whaler doesn't have one. Grady-White doesn't have one. Nobody in your price range has one. That certified sticker on a Sea Hunt or a Robalo, that's the dealer's marketing department, not a manufacturer guarantee. Now let me show you what their checklists miss. Boat number 1. A 2019 Sea Hunt Ultra 225 from a dealer in Florida, listed at $34,000. The Gelcoat looked factory fresh. Bright white, no spider cracks, no discoloration around the outboard mounting bolts. The dealer checklist showed transom inspection passed. I ran my Tramex Skipper moisture meter across the transom and got readings in the acceptable range. Then I drilled a core sample. The plywood inside that transom was saturated, black, delaminated, pulling apart in layers like wet cardboard. Water poured out of the hole. The Gelcoat had been resprayed over rotting plywood that should have been replaced 2 years ago. Someone knew this transom was failing, and they covered it up with a fresh coat of paint. A proper transom rebuild on a boat this size runs $5,000 to $8,000 at a qualified shop. This dealer had to know. You do not respray Gelcoat over a solid transom. But their checklist said, passed. Boat number 2. A 2020 NauticStar 2200 Sport from Texas, $41,000. This one had stringer damage that someone tried to repair on the cheap. When I pulled up the deck plates and cut through the non-skid, I found fiberglass matting laid directly over wood that was still rotting underneath. The repair looked professional from the top. Smooth finish, clean lines, good color match. But whoever did it never removed the damaged material first. They just glossed over the problem and hoped nobody would check. This is documented constantly on Marine Surveyor reports. Brian Knight from West System calls stringer repair one of the most common jobs in fiberglass boats. Boat US flat out warns that rotten stringers mean complete structural failure becomes a real possibility. When those stringers let go, the hull flexes in ways it wasn't designed to flex. Cracks propagate. The engine mounts shift and destroy the transmission coupling. A boat that was worth $40,000 becomes a $10,000 rebuild project. The dealer inspection checklist showed hull integrity verified. Boat number 3 made me angry. A 2018 Key West 239 gauge FS from the Carolinas, $52,000. Everything looked great until I pulled the access panels that the dealer apparently never touched. The aluminum fuel tank behind the center console had corrosion eating through the bottom seam. Visible pitting, white aluminum oxide buildup, and the early stages of pinhole development. Here's something the dealer should know. The Coast Guard's own data shows aluminum fuel tanks average just 12 to 20 years of life. Ethanol in modern fuel acts like a weak acid that attacks the protective aluminum oxide layer. Marine designer Dave Gare calls foam-encased tanks a death sentence because moisture gets trapped with nowhere to evaporate. This tank was maybe a season away from leaking fuel into the bilge. Replacing that tank requires pulling the console, cutting access holes in the deck, and installing new aluminum. On this hull, you're looking at $5,000 to $8,000 minimum. The tank itself costs $1,500. But the labor to access it? That's where they get you. This was not on the dealer's checklist. They never looked. Boat number 4 is where it gets dangerous. A 2021 Robalo R222 from a dealer who specifically advertised comprehensive electrical inspection as part of their certification program. $48,000. I opened the center console and found bare copper automotive wire running to the helm electronics. Not marine-grade tinned copper. Regular automotive wire that corrodes in salt environments. Boat US insurance data shows DC electrical problems cause more than 35% of all boat fires. Marine wire has individually tinned strands that resist corrosion. Automotive wire turns green and black, builds resistance, generates heat, and eventually catches fire. Cut any wire on your boat right now. If the strands are silver, that is tinned marine wire. If they are copper or orange, that is automotive wire. If they are black or green, corrosion has already started. Dealer certification means nothing when they do not even open the console. And then there's boat number 5, a 2019 Tidewater 220 LXF from Alabama, $63,000. The most expensive boat in this investigation. The dealer provided a 130-point inspection checklist. Every line item marked complete with initials and dates. When I cut into this hull, I found 3 previous repairs stacked on top of each other. A transom patch covering older transom damage that was never fully removed. Stringer work that had been redone at least twice based on the different resin colors in the layup. And evidence of water intrusion through the rub rail that someone tried to seal from the inside without fixing the actual source. This boat had been damaged, repaired, resold, damaged again, repaired again, and resold again. The title showed none of this. The dealer certification caught none of this. Here's what you need to understand. Certified pre-owned in the boat market is a marketing phrase, not a protection. No one is checking the dealers, no regulatory body is holding them accountable. And the premium you pay for that certification sticker? It's buying you nothing but false confidence. Before you hand over a deposit on any used boat, hire your own marine surveyor. Not someone the dealer recommends. A SAM-FIES or NAMS accredited surveyor who works for you. It costs $25 to $35 per foot. On a 22-foot boat, that's $500 to $700. Compare that to the $5,000 to $8,000 transom rebuild you'll need when the dealer's checklist missed the rot. If 5 random boats from 5 different dealers all showed hidden damage that their certifications missed, this isn't a few bad apples. This is the whole barrel. I've got full teardown footage on each of these boats with part numbers and repair estimates. And if you're shopping for a used outboard, I cut open 6 certified powerheads and found the same pattern of hidden damage. Subscribe if you want to see what dealers don't want you to see.